It started as a whisper in 2019, an almost unbelievable idea. Mining cryptocurrency right on your phone, without draining the battery, without needing supercomputers. Many called it a joke, some called it a scam. And yet, 6 years later, here in 2025, that whisper has turned into a storm. Over 55 million users globally, 55 million pioneers who believed, who tapped the lightning button every day. And in February 2025, the moment millions had been waiting for finally arrived. The Open Mainnet officially went live. But now the real game begins. The free mining phase is over. The Pi coins you hold are no longer just points in an app. They are on exchanges, they are tradable, they are real assets. And the billion-dollar question we all have is, where will the price of Pi coin go? Can Pi Network replicate the magical story of Bitcoin, from a worthless coin used to buy 2 pizzas to an asset worth tens of thousands of dollars? Or will it fade into oblivion like thousands of other altcoin projects? The cryptocurrency market is in a volatile recovery phase. Predicting Pi's price trend accurately has become more important than ever. Today's video is not a promise of riches. This is a strategic analysis. Together, we will unfold the big picture, making a price prediction for Pi Network from late 2025 all the way to 2030. We won't be guessing. We will rely on quantitative models, technical analysis, and most importantly, assessing the fundamental factors that will affect the project's long-term value. We will look at its short but turbulent price history, the growth drivers, and also the risk red flags that every investor must be aware of. This is the 5-year roadmap analysis for Pi. Are you ready? Let's begin. Part 1. The short-term battle, late 2025-2026. 2025 is the pivotal year. This is Pi Network's Prove It phase. After years of promises, it's time for the project to prove its real-world value. We are witnessing the transformation from a massive testnet to a real network with the goal of building a decentralized smart contract ecosystem that is, most importantly, accessible to those 55 million users. Based on quantitative analysis models combined with market data since the Open Mainnet in February 2025, here is our prediction for the final months of 2025 and early 2026. There will be 2 main scenarios. Scenario 1, the bear correction. Lowest price prediction, $0.15. Why $0.15? This price could happen if the overall crypto market enters a sharp correction. Remember, Pi doesn't live in a bubble. If Bitcoin and Ethereum drop 20%, it's hard for Pi to go against the tide. Macroeconomic factors like a return of global inflation or tighter regulations could trigger a sell-off. More importantly, this is the test of faith scenario. When those who mined Pi 4 or 5 years ago decide to take profits en masse, the immense selling pressure will push Pi's price back to the bottom we saw on October 10th. This is the price floor, a stress test for the market's endurance. Scenario 2, the bull rises. Highest price prediction, $0.50. This scenario happens if Pi Network does things right. What does do things right mean? First, an explosion in the number of developers building dApps on the Pi platform. And second, and this is extremely important, successful integration with popular mobile wallets and payment gateways. If I can use Pi to pay on an e-commerce site or send Pi to a friend via a wallet like China's WeChat, transaction volume will skyrocket. real demand will emerge. The $0.50 price point is entirely achievable. So what supports these price levels? Why isn't Pi $0.0001? The answer lies in the core technology. This is the part you absolutely need to pay attention to. Support factor number 1, super cheap and super fast transactions. Bitcoin uses proof of work. It's secure, but it consumes a colossal amount of energy. Each Bitcoin transaction costs thousands of kilowatts of electricity, and transaction fees can reach $10, $20, or even $50 during peak hours. You can't use a $20 fee to buy a $3 cup of coffee. Ethereum moved to proof of stake, more energy efficient, but Layer 1 gas fees are still a major barrier, often ranging from $3 to $10. And then there's Pi Network. Pi uses an improved version of the Stellar Consensus Protocol. This is an extremely lightweight, energy-efficient consensus mechanism designed for mobile devices. And here is the key number. What is the transaction fee on the Pi network? Not $10, not $1, but less than 0.0001. I repeat, less than 1/10,000th of a dollar. This turns Pi from a store of value, like Bitcoin, to a medium of exchange, like Visa or cash. This is the core competitive advantage that 99% of other projects out there do not have. Support factor number 2, DApp ecosystem expansion. We are seeing steady growth in the number of decentralized applications on Pi, from simple storage wallets, social platforms like Fireside Forum, to more complex decentralized exchanges, or DEXs, where people have already started exchanging goods for Pi. Every successful DApp is a reason for users to hold and use Pi, rather than sell it. Support factor number 3, the power of 55 million people. To give you some perspective, according to the latest estimates, the entire world has about 500 to 600 million cryptocurrency owners. Pi's 55 million accounts for almost 10% of all global crypto users. This is a colossal number. It is an army. When this community, assuming just half of them, those who have passed KYC, are truly active, starts trading, buying, selling, and using DApps, the buying pressure will increase tremendously, supporting sustainable price growth. That's 2025. But what if we look a little further? 2026 is predicted to be a pivotal year for the entire crypto market. We expect to see a push from the global bull run cycle, which typically follows the Bitcoin halving event. Macroeconomic factors will play an extremely important role. We are talking about more crypto-friendly policies from major governments, deeper involvement from traditional financial institutions, investment banks, pension funds. And here is the great catalyst: the potential approval of altcoin ETFs, similar to the Bitcoin ETFs that took the market by storm in 2024. Remember, when the Bitcoin ETF was approved in the US in January 2024, Bitcoin's price flew straight from the $44,000 region to a new all-time high of over $73,000 in just 2 months. Now imagine what happens when an Ethereum ETF or even a basket of altcoins, which could include Pi, gets approved. Trillions of dollars of institutional capital will flow into the market. In this favorable scenario, Pi Network, with its position as one of the networks with the largest community, will benefit directly. Our prediction for 2026: low, $0.67. High, $1. Yes, the $1 psychological milestone. This is a 2x return compared to the high scenario for 2025. For this to happen, Pi Network can't just sit and wait for the market to rise. They must act. We need to see strong adoption from emerging markets, especially Asia and Africa, places where the need for a cheap, fast, cross-border payment system is most urgent. The Pi Core team must seize this opportunity to roll out blockbuster features, deeper integration with AI, launching flagship dApps. Every successful feature will attract millions of new users, pushing transaction volume to a new level. If Pi can do that, the $1 price is not just a dream.
Part 2. Long-Term Vision, 2027 to 2030, and the 100 million user game. We've just gone through the 1-2-year short-term picture, but for many true pioneers, Pi was never a short-term game. They have been here for 3 years, 5 years, and they are willing to wait 10 years. So 5 to 10 years from now, what will Pi Coin look like? Let's continue this journey of discovery together. The long-term forecast for Pi Coin depends on 3 core factors, and they are closely intertwined. 1. The number of daily active users, not total registrations. 2. The maturity of the dApp ecosystem. Are they actually useful? 3. The overall health of the crypto market. Are we in a winter or a summer? Here are the possible situations, including low, bear market, average, stable growth, and high, bull market. As you can see, our models show a clear trend. From 2027 onwards, if the project doesn't die prematurely, Pi Coin will likely grow steadily and start reclaiming its past peak prices. We're talking about finding the $2 to $3 price range, the price that many FOMO'd into on exchanges even before the mainnet. But the Pi team's biggest goal is set for 2030. By 2030, Pi Network aims to reach 100 million active users. 100 million! This is an extremely ambitious number, but it is entirely feasible if they maintain a growth rate of 20 to 30% per year, which they have done very well in the past. Why is the 100 million number so important? We need to talk about Metcalfe's law. This law states the value of a telecommunications network is proportional to the square of the number of connected users. Simply put, 10 users, value equals 10 times 10, equals 100. But 100 users, value equals 100 times 100, equals 10,000. The number of users increases tenfold, but the network value increases 100-fold. When Pi reaches 100 million actual users, its network value will explode exponentially. It will become one of the largest Web3 platforms on the planet, rivaling the Web2 giants. And one more factor, scarcity. By that time, the Pi token supply may have reached its limit. The mining mechanism will nearly stop. The final halving events, or halving the mining rate, will create a scarcity effect similar to Bitcoin. When 100 million users are competing for a finite supply of Pi, what will happen to the price? I think you have the answer yourself. In the most optimistic scenario, in 2027, when Pi is a mature ecosystem with 100 million users integrated into global payments and AI, the $3 price might just be the starting point. Part 3. The ultimate challenge. Pi Network must prove much more. We've talked about the beautiful numbers, 50 cents, $1, $3. But now it's time to pour a cold water on this excitement. Ultimately, it's not the hype, not the number of users, but real value, utility that will overcome all barriers. Let's be honest with ourselves. At this moment, 9 months after the Open Mainnet, the utility of Pi Coin is still extremely limited. What is Pi Coin mainly used for right now? To tip for posts on the Fireside forum? Or to play simple 2D entertainment games? This is a good start, but it is not enough. Not enough to justify a market cap of tens of billions of dollars. We need to see Pi Coin go deeper into everyday life. I want to see Pi used for payments. Why did Bitcoin fail to become a daily payment currency? Because it's slow, 10 minutes, and the fees are too high, $10. Pi solves both of those problems, fast, 3 to 5 seconds, and fees are near zero. Pi has a golden opportunity to become the Stripe of Web3, to become the micropayment platform for the entire digital economy. But to do that, they need to convince millions of shops and millions of websites to accept Pi. This is a fierce battle. We need to see Pi in gaming. Not simple 2D games, but AAA games. Imagine an online role-playing game where millions of players battle, and every item they earn is an NFT on the Pi network. Every transaction on the black market uses Pi, and it happens instantly with no fees. That's what attracts millions of major players. And finally, the one we're all waiting for, the AI trump card. This could be a $100 billion idea, or it could just be vaporware. Look at competitors. Projects like Render Network, RNDR, or Akash Network, AKT, are doing exactly this. They create a decentralized marketplace for GPU processing power, allowing AI companies to rent GPUs for model training at a low cost. And what is the market cap of those projects? Billions of dollars. What does Pi Network have that they don't? Pi has millions of nodes, the very computers and phones of pioneers running the Pi node software. If, and this is a very big if, the Pi core team can safely harness the computing power, CPU, GPU, and bandwidth from these millions of devices, they will create one of the world's largest decentralized supercomputers. They could offer that power to AI companies, to scientists, and be paid in Pi. Only then, only when Pi becomes a pillar of payments, gaming, or AI, will Picoin have sustainable value over time. Only then can Pi escape the manipulation of whales, escape the pump and dump cycles of the market, to truly become a currency of the people, by the people, and for the people. We have gone on a long journey today, from the cautious $0.15 scenario in late 2025 to the $1 target in 2026 and a long-term vision of $2, $3, or even higher by 2030, reinforced by a network of 100 million users. But if there is only one thing you need to remember from this video, it is this. The future price of Picoin does not depend on technical analysis charts, it does not depend on Nicholas Kakalis's promises, and it does not depend on the hype on Twitter. The price of Pi depends on one single word: utility. There are two futures for Pi Network. Scenario 1. The project fails to create utility. It remains just an app for tipping and playing 2D entertainment games. The 55 million users gradually lose patience and sell off. The price of Pi will return to near zero. Scenario 2. The project succeeds. Pi becomes a fast, cheap global payment method. Pi nodes power the next wave of AI. The D-app ecosystem explodes. In that scenario, the numbers we predicted today might even be too modest. So, the final question isn't, what will the price of Pi be? The right question is, which scenario do you believe in? Thank you for watching this in-depth analysis to the end. This is a complex topic, and there are certainly many differing opinions. Now, I want to hear from you, the pioneers. Let me know your own prediction in the comments below. What year do you think Pi will hit $1? Do you believe in the AI and payment scenarios? And most importantly, have you passed KYC and are you ready for the Open Mainnet? If you found this video valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any strategic analysis.